The majority of young men literally can't live without their phones. They just keep on scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. When does it stop? And this is not just the young men, it's also the women. Our entire generation is enslaved by this technology. We cannot let this continue. There are several evil tactics that apps like TikTok, Instagram, and even YouTube use to keep you on their platform for longer. And I think once you understand them, you will be less likely to fall for them. The first strategy they use is called the infinite scrolling mechanism. It's basically that you can't reach the bottom. You might be thinking that this isn't really interesting, but this goes much deeper than just not being able to reach the bottom, because it manipulates human psychology. You see, we as humans value control. We want to be in control. This is just our intrusive desire. And TikTok and all these other short-form content platforms manipulate this by making you think you are never in control. And that's why you need to keep scrolling until you gain control. But the thing is, you will never be in control. And that's how you always end up scrolling for so long. The scary thing about this is how difficult this psychological trick makes it hard to stop. Be honest, bro. How many times have you gone to do something on your phone, like text someone for example, and you just ended up scrolling for like an hour? This used to happen to me so much. I often wouldn't even realize I started scrolling until about 20 minutes later. Like my brain would literally command my hands to go on TikTok and scroll without my conscious brain even realizing it. If these big corporations cared about your mental health, they wouldn't implement this infinite scrolling mechanism. You almost need to experience a level of anger to get yourself to get off TikTok. Whenever you realize you are scrolling for too long, you need to throw your phone away, close it quickly, and go do something else. The second psychological trick that these evil companies use to enslave you is called the variable reward mechanism. If you ever studied psychology, you might be familiar with this man, B.F. Skinner. Years ago, this man made an experiment called Skinner's rat box. Basically, he took two rats, put them in a box, and gave them a lever which if they pressed they would get a treat. But the twist is, one rat would get variable rewards. Sometimes it would get a small treat, sometimes a big treat, and sometimes nothing. And the second rat would get the same treat every time. And what he found out was that the rat that got the same treat every time pressed the lever a few times, and when it was full, it stopped pressing the lever. But the other rat kept pressing even past fullness. He kept pressing even though he was already full. His brain got addicted to pressing that lever, and he just couldn't stop. He was curious about what he was going to get next. And our brains work in a similar way. That's why these companies use the concept of variable rewards. It's much more addicting. Humans are curious creatures, which is why we were able to take over the world. But now we are getting punished for this curiosity by these evil companies. Social pressure makes us download the app. That's the rat getting forced into the box. And then we start scrolling. That's the rat pressing the lever. Oh, a first funny video. The first big treat for the rat. So we just keep scrolling. Casinos use this. Now, we know how casinos work. We know that we basically lose in the long run. But the reason people get so addicted to it is because of these variable rewards. But on TikTok, you aren't gambling with money. You are gambling with a few years of your life. That's fucked, right? If these companies were to show you only the mildly funny videos, like 3 out of 10 funny, then you wouldn't watch, and they know this. So they developed this algorithm in the same way that these gambling slot machines work. They are manipulating your dopamine receptors. I am gonna give you the bro science explanation of dopamine. Dopamine is a hormone that gives you motivation to keep doing the thing that you are doing. So for example, when your ancestors were hunting for food, dopamine was the hormone that kept them motivated. And so dopamine is kind of like the thrill of the hunt. You experience this thrill of the hunt when you go on the apps. And it's almost like without consciously knowing it, you are hunting for a good post. If every post was good, you wouldn't watch for so long. You would feel full after the first few scrolls, just like the rat that got the same treat every time. It's interesting. They know this. They don't want to show you the good videos. They want you to hunt for them. They need you to experience this roller coaster of emotions. They want you to just keep putting coins into the machine. They want you to keep pulling the lever. They are just putting an innocent scroll behind this. I really hope that our generation will be able to realize this. I really hope that at least some men will realize how they are getting fucked over. Share this with a friend who is addicted to TikTok. Go click on the subscribe button. Don't be on TikTok. Go do something productive now, and bye.